So, first of all, thank you very much for allowing us and inviting us to come. Dr. Alim, you mentioned 4 things I have in my notes. Passion, goal, jugad, and whitewater times that resonated with me. And we have a passion. We have, one second, let me see here. So I click to the right, yeah? Okay, thank you. So we very much have a passion and we have a goal. And this is how we work, and I'm going to tie this in a second to project management and what we have done to reduce the project management timeline of a renewable energy project by 15 to 25%, which improves the IRR, the unlevered IRR, by almost 1% to 1.25% on a project. Prior to joining Libra, I had worked in the renewable energy business for 5 years, developing off-grid industrial power projects in this part of the world. And we were so successful that one of the 10 largest energy companies in the world, employing over 100,000 people worldwide and a 60+ billion turnover, decided to buy it out. And I came across Libra, which is just an amazing mission and purpose. We're the people in the middle. We have a project on top, and we bring together the vendors, the consultants, the contractors, and the financing all in one. And we guarantee our savings. Now, we've all seen something like this before on projects, right? The typical waterfall approach to project management. How many of you here are project managers? If you can raise your hand, please, in the room. Okay. How many of you use the waterfall approach in your daily work? Okay. How many of you use an agile approach in your daily work? Okay. All right. This is a typical waterfall approach. And you start off in month 1 with the contract, and in our industry, typically you go to about month 22 to 23 before you commission, which means operationally your plant is up and running and generating revenue. We've found a way to decrease that to 16 to 17.5 months. Now, there are 3 risks inherent in this business that we take on from day 1 when we bring on a project. Our projects are roughly, I say 17 to 50, we could say 15 to 50, somewhere in that range that we're accountable for when we bring on a project. And then we are responsible for penalties if we don't execute on time for 10% of that, for every single project we sign. Okay? So every day the clock is ticking, and I'm the guy that's accountable for that. Hence, I lost a little bit of hair. And something else that's unique is once we get to month 12, the client has the right to cancel the project if we're not on time. So you can imagine how valuable time is for us. Okay? And we put those into our project contracts so that we're accountable and the client knows that. So we work every single day, valuing time. Waterfall approach, where we define, build, and release, you have a step-by-step approach. And in working in project management, I have found through the years, there are certain industries and certain aspects of certain industries where it works and you can't modify it, and there are other aspects of the industry where the agile approach is more appropriate. This is a breakdown of the 3. I'm sure pretty much everybody in the room knows these, so I'm not going to go through them. It's just that the Kanban, Scrum, and Prince tend to be more flexible, more proactive, save time. And what we've been able to do is apply this and modify what I prefer the Kanban approach personally, because we're continually renewing and improving our processes. And we are able to reduce, as I said, 15 to 25% on the timeline, depending on the project. How many of you work in real estate development, construction? Right? Very, very involved processes, many of which you cannot eliminate. But you always have to stay on top of things because time is money. For every project we have to give a 95% performance guarantee on the output of the plant that we develop. We're looking at about a 5% timeline variance. Our investors, they benefit from 12 to 17% unlevered rates of return, usually in the area of 12 to 13.5, unlevered. So when you're looking at levered, you're looking at 15 to 25%. And we have many, many, many factors here. But since we began implementing the Kanban approach, we noticed in the pre-sales perspective and in the development perspective, we're shaving months off the project timeline, which is saving a lot of money for us and our customers and our partners. We move from the feasibility phase into the development phase, and then we go into the pre-construction phase. If any of you are in real estate development, I'm sure construction you understand, so I won't go through the step-by-step process. They're very similar. Once we move into the construction phase, though, we move to the waterfall approach because we cannot not follow waterfall when you're building projects. Okay? Then we move into the commissioning phase, which is, if we've done our job properly and we commission properly, we have no penalties, which is wonderful. And in my 5-year career, we've never failed in these projects. Then we get into the O&M phase where we provide the operation and maintenance. Now, all this leads to trust. And why we go through that process is in every project our clients we provide full transparency to what we're doing. So 24/7, 365, investors and stakeholders and clients can log into our real-time data warehouse dashboard and see the performance of active projects and where we are, as well as where our projects in development are. You don't have to wait for a quarterly report. People are empowered with real-time access. And we're doing this across biomass, solar, waste to energy, waste heat recovery, across Vietnam. The timeline I showed you, the waterfall chart was for an 8 megawatt, $17 million project in Vietnam. We have a couple of projects in Thailand in biomass that we're developing. We have a few in Sri Lanka we're developing.